According to Grinberg, our consciousness is not confined within our skull, but exists as part of a larger field, a neural matrix that connects all existence. As the ancient masters have taught for millennia, we are beings of energy participating in a cosmic dance of frequencies and vibrations. Yes, it is a common mistake to think that our existence is limited to the physical, to what we can touch and see in this material world that we inhabit day after day. The truth about our nature is much deeper and more fascinating. We are beings of pure energy navigating through a vast ocean of vibrations and infinite possibilities. This awakening to our true energetic nature is not just an abstract idea, but the first step towards a deep and lasting transformation in our lives. When we begin to recognize this more subtle dimension of our existence, we begin to understand that every word we speak, every action we take, and even our quietest thoughts are forms of energy that dance in the great fabric of the universe. This awakening to our energetic nature may be one of the greatest challenges we will ever face, but it also represents one of the greatest opportunities for our personal evolution. You are like a lighthouse in the middle of the cosmic ocean, constantly emitting and receiving energetic signals. These signals are not random. They are deeply influenced by your emotional states, your thought patterns, and your level of consciousness. When you emit frequencies of joy and abundance, the universe responds. Consequently, when your energy is tinged with fear or scarcity, those same frequencies are reflected in your experience of life. The nature of our energy is as fundamental as it is subtle at every moment. We are creating waves in the universal field of consciousness, affecting not only our own experience, but also the world around us. This constant interaction between our personal energy and the universal field of vibration determines the quality of our experiences, relationships, and opportunities. The fascinating thing about this understanding is that it reveals an extraordinary power to us, the ability to shape our reality through the conscious management of our energy. It is not simply about thinking positively or repeating empty affirmations. It is a deeper process of attuning to the higher frequencies of our being, aligning ourselves with the natural flow of life, and learning to navigate the energetic currents with wisdom and discernment. This dance between our personal energy and the universal field of vibration is continuous and dynamic. Every thought we hold, every emotion we experience, contributes to the overall frequency we emit to the universe. And just as a musical instrument must be tuned to produce harmonious music, we must learn to tune our energy to create a life that resonates with our deepest aspirations. The power of conscious thought goes beyond simple mental activity. It is a creative force that shapes our reality moment by moment. Although most of the time we are not aware of it, every thought we hold acts as a seed we plant in the garden of our existence. And just like a real garden, what blooms directly depends on the seeds we choose to cultivate. The difference between casual thought and conscious thought is like the difference between going with the flow and swimming with purpose toward a specific destination. Casual thought arises from our mental habits, from our conditioning and fears, creating repetitive patterns that keep us in familiar but limiting cycles. Conscious thought instead emerges from a deliberate decision to direct our attention and energy towards what we wish to manifest in our life. There is a constant dance between our thoughts and emotions, a choreography that determines the quality of our life. Experience when a thought is sustained with sufficient intensity and frequency. It generates a response, emotional corresponding. This emotion in turn reinforces the original thought, creating a cycle which eventually manifests in our physical reality. This is why people who maintain abundant thoughts tend to experience more abundance, while those trapped in patterns of scarcity often see their fears confirmed. The key to transforming this cycle lies in our ability to observe and direct. With conscious awareness of our thoughts, this requires a level of presence and attention that goes beyond simply repeating positive affirmations. It involves a deep commitment to the truth of our being, a willingness to examine and question the mental patterns we have taken for granted for so long. The art of conscious thought develops gradually like any other skill. It begins with moments of clear intention. It is strengthened through constant practice and eventually becomes a new way of being in this process. We learn to distinguish between thoughts that elevate us and those that limit us, between beliefs that expand our possibilities and those that keep us captive in old and restrictive patterns. The practical transformation of our energy requires more than simple intellectual understanding, demands an active commitment to our inner development. This process begins with the honest recognition of our current frequency, observing how we relate to the world and what energetic patterns dominate our daily experience is like waking up in a dark room and gradually allowing the light of dawn to reveal what was always present. Energetic recalibration is not a one-time event, but an ongoing process of refinement. It begins in the quieter moments of our daily routine when we can clearly perceive the quality of our vibration during these moments of clarity. We learn to distinguish between the frequencies that uplift us and those that keep us stagnant. This discernment becomes our inner compass, guiding us toward more harmonious states of being. In the practical realm, transformation manifests itself through conscious moment-to-moment decisions when we face challenging situations. We have the choice to react from old patterns or respond from a place of higher consciousness. Each choice brings us closer to our true nature or keeps us tied to familiar limitations. The key is to recognize that we always have the ability to choose our energetic response, regardless of the progress on this path, is measured not so much by external events, but by subtle changes in our inner experience. We notice a greater ability to remain calm in difficult situations, more sustained clarity in our decisions, and a deeper connection with our inner guidance. Synchronicities increase, resistances decrease, and we begin to experience a more natural flow in our daily life. The art of practical transformation lies in maintaining a balance between conscious effort and natural receptivity. It is not necessarily about forcing changes through will, but about creating the internal conditions that allow an organic evolution of our frequency are very different things. This delicate balance between doing and being, between directing and allowing, marks the path towards a sustainable and authentic transformation. True transformation begins when we stop looking for external culprits for our current situation. It is easy to point to circumstances, people, or events that seem to hinder our path, but this perspective keeps us trapped in a cycle of helplessness and frustration. Personal responsibility is not a burden, but the key that opens the door to our energetic freedom. In fact, if you got this far, I will ask you to comment. I am responsible for my life, and I know that this probably puts you in a bind because your ego has you trapped in the illusion that your evolution depends on external circumstances. But this is nothing more than a hoax, and the sooner you realize this, the sooner you can begin to take control of your life. When we take control of our vibration, we recognize a truth. We are the architects of our experience. This understanding can be initially uncomfortable, even frightening, as it involves facing that we have consciously or unconsciously created every aspect of our current reality. However, in this apparent discomfort lies an extraordinary power. If we have created our current situation, we also have the of creating something different. Energy autonomy, basically. This does not mean denying the existence of external challenges, but understanding that our response to these challenges determines their impact on our lives. It is like being at the helm of a ship during a storm. We cannot control the weather, but we can. Adjusting the sails and steering the course. This capacity for conscious response is a true power. Awakening to personal responsibility brings with it a paradoxical feeling of freedom. When we recognize that we are the source of our experience, We stop being victims of circumstances and become creators' assets of our reality. This freedom is not an absence of restrictions, but the ability to choose our response to any situation that life presents to us. The integration of these energetic practices in our daily life does not require dramatic changes, but a commitment to moment-to-moment awareness. Every day presents us with countless opportunities to raise our frequency, from the way we greet the sunrise to how we relate to the people we meet on our path. The key is in the silent consistency in those small acts of presence that, accumulated over time, completely transform our life experience. The balance between being and doing emerges as a natural practice when we live from this expanded consciousness. Let us remember that the potential for an extraordinary life does not reside somewhere distant or in a hypothetical future. This potential lives within us right now, waiting to be recognized and expressed. The transformation we seek does not require us to become someone different, but rather to awaken to the truth of who we already are. We are who you are. I ask you who you are. If you got here, receive, as always, a big hug on behalf of the whole team. We wish you all the good that your mind can imagine. Thank you very much for giving us your company. See you soon. Stay awake.